Hello, my name is Helen Mitchell, and I'm with the Refresh Experience. And we are doing like the world is doing right now. We are pivoting and hosting our 5th birthday retreat. Instead of being face to face, able to hug and enjoy one another, we are going to be safe, and we are offering our entire retreat online, virtually, from our hearts to yours. And we are so excited about being able to pull this off in a way that you don't miss a beat. So I just want to share with you that what's really in this retreat experience for you is what you get out of it, is what you come to the retreat and open your heart to. We have a number of practitioners and speakers who will be bringing content over a 2.5 day, well, actually a day and a half experience. And we will have the option of having a social distancing outdoor experience, weather permitting, of course, and with registrations. So there's quite a bit in this retreat that I think you're going to take away from. That's no different if we were once again at Callaway Gardens. So as this is our 5th birthday, we plan to celebrate. We plan to keep many of the things that we've done in the past, the signature handbag, the goodies, the giveaways, the special events. We're going to have a big pickup parade so that you can come and pick up your goodies if you're in town. And if you're not in town, then we will be shipping your goodies to you. But the good news is we are really here to talk about how to reconnect, how to plug in and reconnect to your body, to your soul, and to your heart, and to this community that we call Refresh. So on this opportunity, we have some Refresh practitioners and speakers who are going to tell you a little bit about themselves. And then I have some really funny questions that I'm going to ask each of them. So let's begin with Leslie.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leslie Briscoe Andrews, and by profession, I am a retail executive. I recently just closed a chapter at Carter's Inc. here in Atlanta, and I will be starting a new career at Home Depot actually next week, going into the merchandise program there. So I'm excited about those changes and really, really excited to be a part of the Refresh family and this amazing 5-year celebration.
Thank you, Leslie. And Sharron Ragan.
Hi, I'm Sharron Ragan, and I'm returning for the 3rd time to the retreat to implement a artistic program that will help you connect to your heart and your soul. And I am currently the owner of a metaphysical shop, and I think that this program is something that, as Helen has said, we're really working hard to reconnect to ourselves. And I'm a big believer that reconnecting can come through your creativity. And by participating in a nice, short, brief program, but intense program, you will be able to truly awaken some energy within you that you may not know that you even possess.
So we're looking forward to that. That's always a big, fun experiment. And people always say, I'm not artistic. But wait till you see what happens when you get to unleash yourself and tap into your creativity. Stephanie?
Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Refresh for 5th year here. So that is wonderful and beautiful, and I can't wait to see where you continue to go from here. So my name is Stephanie Clement, and I'm with Stillness Yoga and Meditation Center. I'll be offering a sound bath meditation. And why a sound bath meditation? Well, number one, we all need to relax, right? That deep state of relaxation, conscious relaxation, brings forth a very deep state of healing. So we'll be doing a sound bath with many different instruments. We'll have crystal bowls, Himalayan bowls, a wave drum, maybe even a little bit of a gong. So there's going to be several different instruments, and you'll get to lie down completely relaxed in the comfort of your own home. while I guide you through this wonderful sound bath meditation. It's profound in a couple ways. Not only does it help us deeply relax, but it also, through the vibration of those instruments, begins to sort of release all those places where we see ourselves as little, very limited. And it allows us to touch deeper and reconnect with this deeper essence within us. So I'm looking forward to sharing in this weekend with you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Siha, I love her name. How are you? We need to unmute. There we go. Almost.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes.
So
How are you?
wonderful. It's so great to be a part of this lovely group of humans. My name is Siha Collins, and I've had the privilege of presenting at a Refresh weekend workshop. But this is my very first retreat, and so I'll be so excited to be a part of this kind of extended weekend of self-care. I am the owner of Yellow Mat Wellness, and I'm a yoga and meditation teacher. And I'll be so pleased to present this mindful movement that's really not the opportunity for fitness, but I love thinking of it as day-to-day wellness, how we reconnect with ourselves and our body. And I say before we can connect to anyone else, it's so important for us to connect to ourselves. So at a time when maybe we've felt indoors or just sitting on our couches and not behind desk and not a lot of movement, it'll be so wonderful just to celebrate and express gratitude that we're still breathing and that we just have the chance to move mindfully. So I'll be really pleased to celebrate and to connect with everyone at the retreat this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Dr. K.
Hello. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to you, Helen, and your entire team for having me in this experience. This will be my first retreat, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's see about me. My full name is Katherine Igah-Phillips. So most people just call me Dr. K, just the letter K, which is fine. And I'm a medical doctor. I do things a little bit unconventionally. So I am the owner and CEO of Mind, Body, Spirit Wellness Center. And that is my special playground, my special place that I provide for people of the community to get authentic healing. So this comes in the form of integrative medicine, which means I provide natural healing options alongside conventional medicine, as well as balancing of the mind, the body, and the spirit realms for each person who comes through the doors of the practice. And I also am an international speaker. I'm also an author and a coach. So I mentor people around elevation of the mind, the body, and the spirit as prerequisites, and then ballooning forward into expansion of consciousness and alignment with purpose and destiny. So that's what I would love to bring to the retreat, is just that different perspective on the flow of life, reclaiming your power, walking in your truth, getting rid of anything that's in the way of you and whatever it is that you need to manifest, and just really authentic self-care, in the form that really gives you that self-audit to evaluate yourself in all of those realms at all times to constantly elevate.
Thank you, Dr. K. Dr. K and I have been trying to make this work. And so virtually, I am just so grateful. When I hear you speak, I know that you are absolutely aligned with Refresh and the Refresh community. And I am just so excited that we finally can make this work. So it's a joy. Thank you so much. I can't wait.
You're very welcome. Likewise.
Thank you. And your practice, tell us where your practice is.
Atlanta, Georgia. Within Atlanta, it's in the Marietta area of Atlanta.
Okay, good. And so, Leslie, I wanted to circle back with you, and I wanted you to share, because you and I have have a connection. And so share with everyone who is listening what you're going to be speaking about and why I can't stop laughing and giggling about it. So tell us.
Sure. So I am just so thrilled. I had the blessing of meeting Helen, I guess 3 years ago, through the Jack and Jill organization. We are members of the same chapter, and I actually met Helen and was just naturally connected to her energy and her positivity, and wherever I could kind of seek her out, I did. And she had since graduated out of the chapter, but came back and actually spoke to the chapter at one of our mothers' meetings, a really touching program on our children and helping them find their joy and the things that bring them happiness in order for them to lead successful lives. And in my life, I have always been asked, why am I so happy? Why are you so upbeat? And I really just didn't understand who I really was until I started doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of hard work on myself through some difficult times. And so I love joy, and I love spreading joy and the light and love of God. So I am going to share with everyone a topic, unexpected joy during unprecedented times. So obviously we have gone through a really difficult last 6.5 months with everything that's been going on with all the social unrest and racial inequality and COVID. And I really have thought during this time to be still and hear from my Creator about what I really should be appreciating and what blessings there really have been through all of these difficult times. So I'll be sharing a little bit about that.
Yes, my favorite topic, joy. That's how I got started. So it's so exciting to have another voice talk about something that has just created bridges and avenues and pathways for me to really reach others and for me to really demonstrate how important being joyful is, even in the midst of things that might seem dark or might seem challenging. And I can't go anywhere without someone saying, I saw your post, and keep posting, because some days when I'm really down and I read something that you post, it makes me feel really happy inside. So we never know where our ripple effect will affect others and how what we do really does spread and stretch the world and grow. And that's why I'm so excited to be able to bring together such unique and different voices, saying the same message, but in our own unique and different ways. So I think that's really what's so powerful about the Refresh experience. And I think that the tools that the ladies leave with, or whoever attends leaves with, applies to so many facets of life. And so you're able to take the experience of being in the Refresh community and then use it in your work world, and use it in your relationships, and use it with your health, and use it with your body. And you are able to really reconnect. So it really means the world to me that you all are a part of that voice that's going to reach out to our community. So let me ask a couple of funny questions. The first one is, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you be doing? If you weren't, Stephanie doing stillness and Sharron doing your metaphysical, because you were doing corporate before you came to your metaphysical world. So what would you be doing? Or maybe you would be doing what you're doing right now. Maybe you found your passion and your purpose. But if you weren't, what else do you think you might be doing? Anyone want to take a leap?
I'll step out and answer that. And I have to say that right now, I feel like I'm doing exactly what I was meant to do. And I would like to add more to that. So there are things that I'm currently not doing. And I think that even though I'm in a bricks and mortar environment every single day, and we do offer workshops and programs that I either lead or sometimes I participate in, what I would like to be doing more of is to be able to create an education platform that's online so that we can spread these types of programs bigger and better across the world, and not just in a local city in a bricks and mortar store. So, for me, I'm always looking as to how I can expand and be doing more of what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. I remember when we were going to, when we had to think about how will we do this, because we will not be going back to Callaway. And I thought, holy smokes, I mean, we've never done anything like this virtually. But then, and this ties to a post that I saw you post today, Leslie, which says, this whole COVID and this pandemic has really we can tell you all the bad things about it, but we really hardly ever get the list of all of the good things. And so Leslie posted today. And so one of the good things that I feel from this virtual situation will be just what you said, Sharron. We'll be able to reach more people. People won't have to get in cars or planes or however they came to the retreat before. They can just stay in the comfort of their own home. And when they finish that evening, they can just find their way to the comfort of their room, and they don't have to travel. And so that's a positive. I mean, that's a great thing. So I'm really excited about the fact that, just like you mentioned, we can expand and we're not confined by the fact of a location an hour and a half from here.
Right.
If you have the ability to get on a laptop, you can have access to this content, and that's something that we've not been able to do. So that's awesome. Did anyone else want to jump in on that question? If not, I'll go to my next one. Ready? Leslie, do you remember what you posted today? I just wanted to share with everyone.
Yeah, I have it right here. So it reads, it says, we don't talk enough about the upside of 2020. Stillness, value of time, purpose, exposure, identity, vision, truth, patience, returning, and love. Value the healing just as much as we value the hurt.
That really touched me today.
Me too.
So thank you for sharing that. That was really awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what do you expect from the content that you're going to share, or the modality that you're going to share? What are you expecting the Refresh community to take away from what you're going to share? Who wants? Okay, Leslie.
I think just to say a little bit more about like that post that I said today, I was writing a blog, and just to share with the team, I wrote my first book last year, and it was published this year. And it was really just born out of my journey to joy, basically, through a lot of very difficult things that happened in my life. And I think what I hope people are able to take away is that there is purpose in our pain, and that a lot of times when we are going through our toughest times, we emerge stronger and better, and that you were able to actually find the joy in that and find the good in that. So I'm hoping that during a difficult time, I'm able to share that and to just bring some light to the good that we really all do have in our lives.
And we sure could use that right about now, right? Anyone else want to share? Okay, so let me have a couple more questions, and I'm going to finish up with my favorite one, which is, if you had to select a piece of music or a book that you feel really reflects who you are, how you see the world, your purpose, or what you feel best represents you, what book or what piece of music would you select or would you share?
I'll take that one.
Okay.
So I consider myself a pretty avid reader, and I go back to this same tiny little, and it's also a quick read, called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And it's actually a really straightforward read and has a lot of stories about people what happens when we give into the power of our daily habits. And I love it so much because it just reminds me that whether you decide to make it your yoga practice or gardening or listening to your favorite music or dancing every day, it is just the opportunity to take anything in your life, and the more and more that you're willing to practice it, it becomes a celebration and something to look forward to. And maybe when things are uncertain, it also becomes an anchor point, which feels really wonderful. So I'd recommend that to anyone, and it reminds me that I probably need to pull it back out.
Oh, great. Good. Awesome. I'm going to look for that book. Anyone familiar with that book? Anyone else read that book? See, you shared. Siha, thanks. Stephanie?
I'll share what song really comes to me. And that's the song Higher Love I like the Whitney Houston version. And how does that exactly? How does that speak to me? I just truly believe that within each and every one of us, we have that higher love. And sometimes it gets covered up, right? We kind of fall into these places where we do hit those moments, as Leslie was sharing, where we encounter pain. But even in the midst of that pain, there's still within us this higher love, this presence that is so deep and so unconditional loving. And so that when I'm feeling like down or when I'm just needing a reminder, right, I just turn that on and just kind of let myself go to it, because I really truly do hope to bring some of that essence of that higher love to the retreat when we embark on that journey. And love isn't always just, rose-colored glasses, right? There's some tough love in there as well. And so just everything that love encompasses, I think I find that incredibly meaningful, incredibly powerful, especially when it's embodied within you.
Yeah, love that. Thank you. Anyone else? Book or music? Okay, Dr. K.
I will share a book. I don't know that I would call it my favorite book of all time, because it morphs with each phase of my life. But what's really speaking to me, it's called The Four Agreements.
Oh my gosh, that was going to be mine.
Legacy. We're aligned.
That's so awesome.
I've completed it for the second time in the last maybe 90 days. And for those who don't know, it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. Mm-hmm. And I really like this book because it reminds that life, like everything within our reality, we have the power to recreate it, to shape it, to reframe it. If we don't like how our life is going, then, you just step up and take control of that. And life is not happening to you. So it's really powerful to know that happiness, success, these things that we're on these journeys to chase after are just a choice, right? And you can make a decision to be in that state of being, basically, with these agreements that we can form about ourselves, about our lives, about our relationships to other people, as well as agreements that we can break that were formed, that were based on a more poverty mindset or a more survival mindset, or something that was implanted when we were a child that we had really little control over. So it's a really powerful book, because I really subscribe to that. Like the way I live life is that I have power to do things and to shift things and to leave a space better than before I entered it, and to impact humanity and to just change up life, manifest things, like life is an experience. right? So that's why it really resonates with me.
That was going to be mine. Okay, Leslie.
That is one of mine too. I've probably read it about 5 times. I just actually pulled it out recently and read it again. I am going to give you a song, and my song is by Jill Scott, Living My Life Like It's Golden. And that song, when I first heard it years ago, I loved it. I love Jill Scott. But just as life happens, and it happens, I realized that it is a choice for me every day to choose joy and to look at the positive side of things. I can get hung up on the problems. They're going to be there. But if I continue to realize that every day is a gift and I live it to its fullest and give it my best, that is really my ideology. So living my life like it's golden would be my song.
Oh, that's great. Sharron, piece of music or a book?
I think a book for me is, and I just remember this chapter so clearly, was by Eckhart Tolle, and it was The New Earth, and it was all about the way that we were transitioning spiritually. But he had this one chapter about judgment. And I found it so fascinating because it was a series of stories. And one of the stories was that this person had been accused of doing some things of which that person said they had not done. But when he was accused, he just said, okay, fine, no problem. And then they were like, well, if you did this, then you need to do this. And he's like, okay, no problem. And then apparently the people came back to him a year later and said, oh, we realized that you didn't do this. And he said, okay, no problem. But the whole chapter was really about how we were becoming a society of judging everyone and not going on about our own business and looking at what we could do to make the world better. But yet this individual continued on in his business because he knew in his own heart that he had, even though he was being accused, he was not doing those things. And so he didn't let it stop him. And that just stuck with me, that sometimes, and especially now in the world, you know, we just have a lot of things going on where there's so much finger pointing and people getting angry at each other. And you know, it's just little things. I mean, even families, you know, are stressed because of what's going on. But that if we really begin to look deep within ourselves, is that the only people we can really judge are ourselves. And if we spend more time understanding more about ourselves, I think that ultimately, as I see it and look at the way spirituality is working in all of us, I think that we're going to move more and more to hopefully less judgment and more acceptance of individuals at where they are in their life.
Yeah, that's a big lesson. Big lesson. When you can find yourself in a place of acceptance, that's the key. That's the golden key to me. So I keep these cards. Dr. K brought the 4 agreements. I keep these cards on my desk, and every morning, as a part of my sort of kick off the day, I pick a card, and because I think this principle of the 4 agreements makes life so simple. It's, you know, stick to the 4 agreements. You don't need to go outside of that realm, and you will see things shift, and it will open your consciousness. So we're on the same page, Dr. K. Thanks so much. And final question. If you were not under a mushroom and you are in this world, you know that this weekend we lost a great superhero. And I don't think there's anyone who doesn't or hasn't heard about the life of and all that we can say about Chadwick Boseman. And so I have today, after all the tributes and the sadness, have come on the other side, and I've come out of it saying, what about his life? What about Chad's life? What particular thing did he demonstrate that I can definitely move forward in my life? how can I be my own superhero in my own story? Because I think that's really what he was trying to demonstrate, that we are all can all learn to be a superhero. We all possess that ability. He just so graciously and quietly and humbly showed us those particular aspects that we could all take a lesson. So if you had to think about his life and what he stood for, what would be one of his qualities, or the qualities that he so magnanimously demonstrated for us, would you say really impacted you and would be your go forward, and one that you'd share in your world, in your family, with your children, with your just who you are? What is the one thing that you would take away from his very beautiful, out loud, bold life that that you saw from all of what you saw? Leslie?
I would say it's hard for me to put it into one word. I
Okay.
watched him, watched the movie. I watched it Saturday night. I watched it again last night, and then I watched all the tributes. And I'm not a Marvel person. Like I'm not a comic book kind of person. I've seen all of his movies, and have just always been attracted to his spirit. I would say the words that you used, the grace and humbleness, quiet strength that he had, I think have always been appealing to me. But I would say if I would take one thing, it would be how he has inspired our children, and particularly children of color, to believe that they can do anything. I dragged my daughter to that movie. She did not want to see it. She was like, oh, I don't want to see that. She's an artist. She wants things pretty. And, she just had no interest at all in superheroes. And she was so in awe of the set, the colors, the costumes, all of that when we were at the movies. But when we were leaving, her and my niece were karate chopping. They were so inspired by seeing all of the beautiful people of color in that movie and seeing them as royalty. And I just watched them walk a little straighter. My daughter was like, I want to take Taekwondo. I want to learn kickboxing. She just had this whole spirit because of the women, that supported him in the Black Panther movie. And just watching the tributes and seeing the children and how the love that they had and how much they were inspired by his strength. And then I'm inspired that he was that ill and that, fighting his own battle and never had a pity party. Nobody even knew that was going on. And I think what strength and resolve he had, and how touched I think he was by God. I think he knew he had a purpose. He was here. He was focused on his purpose. And so he's just so inspiring to me.
I would agree. Anyone else? Stephanie?
Yeah, Leslie, thank you. You encompassed everything there. But what I find so endearing about him was his humility. I see him as a humble warrior. He had his fight inside, and yet again, look at how he moved through his world. Totally focused, totally on point with his purpose, but never loud, right? It was all with this sense of humility that just drew you to him. And it's interesting that you bring this up, Helen, because I posted a quote, and if I can share that.
That'd be great.
This was a part of the movie. It says, in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe. And that was stated in the movie. And that speaks to my heart. I'm not going to tear up over that, sorry, but it does touch my heart. And just his ability, I think this encompasses what we need right now. He really, without saying a word, just his character, his values, the way he carried and held himself, was something to look up to. So admirable. And not only that, but it was a quiet, I think Leslie, you said this, it was a quiet strength. It didn't overpower you. It actually beckoned you to empower. And so I just love the quote, and I had to post it up today because it just spoke so deeply to my heart. So thank you for bringing up this question.
You're welcome. Anyone else? So there were, oh, go ahead, Dr. K.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if I had to select one thing about him that that's really big for me right now, that I noticed was really big with him, would be obedience. And I feel that whenever I would listen to him in an interview, speak about his life, speak about his work, he was very aligned with his obedience to what he was supposed to be doing here, but also how he was actually doing it. Because, you know, we can be shown, you know, you are to be a healer, but the way that you do it could be completely out of integrity. So I think that I really admire how he was obedient to what he was supposed to do for humanity, what he was supposed to do for his family, like ancestrally, what he did for generations to come behind him, and even for generations that came before him, and just the obedience to his overall calling on how he was to inspire us. And he never wavered from that. He stuck through it from the very beginning, even when doors were slammed in his face, even when he was told no. The obedience rose to the surface to allow him to keep pushing through. So that's one thing that I'm big about right now that I really respect about him.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. K. So the quote that I have put on my phone, I have decided that, you know, I will get up every day and remind myself is this one. So Stephanie, much like you found one, this was mine. And it says, when I stand before God at the end of my life, and this is from Chadwick, I hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left and could say, I used everything you gave me. And without a doubt, he can absolutely say that he used every single bit of talent and he did not leave anything behind. So I really want to stay on. And he used the word purpose a lot in his interviews. So purpose has taken on a significance for me. And a lot of times, and I know we all work in our own individual, if we work for ourselves, and sometimes it's a little disenchanting to find out you've been working so hard on something that you thought was good, or a product or a service, and you know, you're not getting the response you need. And hearing him talk helped me to know that it's about a bigger purpose. It's not always about whether you get what it was that you were looking for, but it's about having a life that is lived on purpose, and whatever that purpose might look like for you. So thank you, ladies. Thank you all. Did anyone have anything you want to say before we finish up? So the retreat will be happening this coming up September 25 through 27. Virtually, we will have a pickup parade, and our pickup parade is actually going to be at Sharon's beautiful. Oh, if you haven't been there, you have to go and visit. Sharon, give them the address where your store is. It's just incredible. You're unmute. Thank you.
It's 1470 Roswell Road, Marietta. And that's near the Big Chicken, if people know where the Big Chicken is. And we're in the East Marietta Shopping Center, where there's multiple other shops. And one of the anchor stores that you would recognize if you don't see our 30-foot purple sign that we have on the building. And Helen, you don't know yet, but we've expanded into a larger space.
Oh my God.
We're twice as big now. But there's a Dollar General in the shopping center as well. That's easy to spot. So we'll be there. I think some of your people will be there
Yes.
to man the pickup of the packages and
Pickup parade.
supplies. Mhm.
And so what we're going to, I just want to give everyone a sense of what they can expect. On Friday, we will have an outdoor yoga experience where it will be social distancing. You need to register in advance. We will provide masks, or you can bring your own. That's absolutely fine. We will have our pickup parade, which is our signature. We don't call it swag bag. We call it a special bag from from the retreat experience. But in it will be our signature handbag that we give away to each and every participant for 5 years now. So the bag has changed every time, and we go through a big process of selecting what the signature bag will be. Also on Friday, we will have a virtual meet and greet with a signature cocktail, or I was telling Sharron today, we'll have a non-alcoholic option, which will be various juices. We'll also have that night, and I can't wait for this. Stephanie will lead us through an incredible evening of a sound bath. And if you've ever witnessed that with her, you'll know it's a spiritual experience. And the good news is I don't have far to go, just down the hall to my bed. So that'll be just absolutely awesome. So that will take us through our Friday. Sharon, did I forget anything on Friday?
You covered it all.
Okay, then we move to Saturday. We don't want anyone up early, and we do want to be mindful of screen time. And we know everyone says, oh, another Zoom. Well, this is not another Zoom, so you get ready. So we are going to kick off the day with Pilates. We have Dr. Jane Middlebrooks, who is a Pilates instructor. So she's going to do movement and Pilates, and that will be virtual. So you'll be able to tune in and take her class before we get the day going. And I'm still working this out, Stephanie. So if I say something that's not right, don't act surprised, because you know how I am. Spirit dictates what's said. So we'll probably have a meditation so that we can really align our hearts and then begin the work that we have to do that day. We'll also have several speakers, and this is the thing that I want to share with everyone. After each presenter, you will have the opportunity to have an experiential, I forgot something, Sharron Ragan. You'll have the opportunity to have an experiential portion to follow on to that talk. So if someone is talking about joy, let's say, then you'll either have a follow-up reflection and stop and do a meditation so that you can really process what has been talked about and you can take it into your heart. And instead of us continuing with one presentation after the other, each and every one will have an experiential component, whether it's a trio or a meditation or a reflection or journaling or a song, or there will be an anchor, a way to anchor each and every presentation so that we are just not walking into the next presentation. We're really taking it to heart and making it true for us. On Friday night, oh my gosh, how could we forget? Sharron, you let me forget. Sharron Ragan will be doing an incredible creativity experience that is just, when Friday night kicks off and Sharron Ragan does this absolutely incredible art and creativity, and we call it intuitive art. And what you do is you just follow Sharon's instructions, and you'll get a kit that will give you whatever you need to do the activity, and that will be a part of your pickup. And if you live out of town, we'll mail it to you. But Sharron says very little, but just her spirit tells you everything. And she gives you the freedom to open your heart and be able to really put down on that canvas something that speaks from your heart. And the crazy thing, I won't call it crazy, but the most incredible thing to witness is when she then does a reading about what you painted on that canvas. And we've had anywhere from people jumping up and down with joy because it said something that they were waiting on, or talked to their future, or it was something that was so sweet and so touching that they were in tears. It runs the gamut, but she connects at a soul level, and she really meets the person where they are based on what they did in the art. So we're excited about that. That's always a treat. And everyone keeps saying, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to have my reading with Sharron. So that will be Friday night. Also on Saturday, and also Siha will be our practitioner for Friday. So she will be bringing yoga, and she brings yoga in such a kind and gentle way that I one time went to a yoga class, and I swore once I got up off that floor, I would never go back to anybody's yoga class. It was just horrible. And I can tell you that every practitioner that has come to Refresh has come with a gentle spirit and makes you feel like you do what you need to do. And she always tells you that in the class. She says, if you need to make an adjustment, please do. Her voice is so sweet. It's so endearing. And it just makes you feel like you can do anything. And the same with Stephanie. Whenever Stephanie has been our practitioner as well, it's been the same kind spirit. And people have left saying, when I did that yoga class, I really connected, not just with the person doing the class, but with myself. For the first time, I felt like it was a practice that I understood, that I could relate to, that my body responded well to. So I want to thank you ladies for that. And then also on Saturday, we'll have Leslie, who'll talk about joy. And we will have a vegan chef. I don't know if you guys know Lisa Washington, but she's going to talk about reconnecting to your body from food for your soul, and talking about juicing, and that there is medicine in food and how to make that connection. So we'll have a vegan chef, and first time ever, we'll have a male speaker, Romal Toon, who has written a book called Love is an Inside Job. And he is fascinating. We will also be giving you a copy of Leslie's book and a copy of Romal's book in your pickup package. And all I can say is you need to be on Zoom or however you can get to the virtual space. When this man speaks, just be there. And go look him up. Go look him up. I want you to go take a peek. But he's going to be here, and he's exceptional. And we've never had a male speak to Refresh Community. So it's our 5th birthday, and it's our first of many. And then we will have Dr. K, who she just brings it all home. She makes you feel like wellness from the MD's perspective. She's trusting. I feel like I should have been there many months ago when I first met her, to take advantage of both her integrative medicine practices as well as her medical expertise. She's just, I'm just honored to have her as a part of the Refresh community. And then on Sunday, we will have our closing ceremony, which Stephanie is always so beautiful at helping me to create something that is so memorable that you'll leave never be the same. Our closing ceremony, sacred ceremony, is always so special. So I'm looking forward to working with Stephanie on that. As well as one of my classmates, I have a master's degree in spiritual psychology. Actually, it's the 5th anniversary of me getting my degree. And one of my classmates is hilarious. She thought she would be on. She's on the West Coast, so she's probably still at work. And her name is Tina Myers. And Tina will be bringing us a funny presentation that is going to be unbelievable, and it's called Spiritual Bypass or Spiritual Badass. And she is a spiritual badass, and she's funny, and she brings light to this whole sometimes very complicated subject of spirituality, but she just makes it so much fun. And she's going to talk about how we can easily just, take that easy road, take the bypass, or do we really want to get down and dirty and really get in there and shift consciousness, do the healing, do the transformation, really a spiritual badass. So she is going to celebrate our 5th birthday in that way. And that is every ounce of this retreat. And we have put our heart and soul in every ounce of it. And it's all for you. And as you can tell from the beautiful souls that are on this call with me tonight, we are getting ready, we are getting prepared, and we are excited to be able to pivot and do this on the screen. Energy is everything, and that doesn't matter where you are in order to feel each other's energy. I think you'll be able to tell that even from the call tonight. So I am grateful, excited, can't wait. And if there's anything that you need from the Refresh community, please connect with us on social media. Go to the website. Registration is open. It's $250 for the entire retreat. It's a lot of value add. There's a lot of content. We are curating content that speaks to your soul, touches your heart, and reconnects you with every aspect of your being. So this is Helen Mitchell with Leslie, with Sharron, with Stephanie, with Siha, and Dr. K. And I couldn't do any of this without an incredible team, Sharon C. and Alex and Mika. They make all of it look so seamless. And they haven't fired me yet, so I'm still they're still in charge, and I'm still working. So I'm excited to be able to have such a great team around me and a great lineup. So come, we'll be here. So ladies, anything else before we depart? Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great and wonderful week and 3 weeks and 4 weeks until we show up on the screen again together with the Refresh community. So thank you.
Thank you.